Ambassador Zixthor's three eyes blinked in rapid succession as he stared at the empty seat where humanity's representative had sat for the past 47 cycles. The polished obsidian chair gleamed under the council chamber's bioluminescent lights, a monument to absence and folly. "They actually left," whispered Council Member Vreet, her tentacles coiling nervously around her communication pod. Supreme Chancellor Morvex slammed his crystalline appendage against the podium, the sound reverberating through the vast chamber like a death knell. "Good riddance. Let those primitive warmongers crawl back to their pathetic little planet. The Council functions perfectly without their constant objections and their ridiculous human rights philosophies." The chamber erupted in half-hearted agreement, but Zixthor noticed the uncertainty in their voices. He had served on the Galactic Council for 2 centuries, and he recognized fear masquerading as bravado. It had been 3 standard weeks since Ambassador Chen had delivered humanity's withdrawal speech. Zixthor remembered every word, especially the final line that had sent chills through his exoskeleton. "We came to you in friendship. We tried to learn from you, but you mistake kindness for weakness. You'll understand your errors soon enough." The first sign came on day 4. The Talvarian Trade Consortium reported that human cargo vessels had ceased operations in the outer sectors. Not attacked, not delayed, simply gone. The humans who had transported 93% of perishable goods across the galactic arm had vanished overnight, taking their revolutionary stasis technology with them. Zixthor watched food prices triple within hours. By day 7, the crisis had cascaded. The Catherine medical facilities discovered that human doctors and nurses, who had somehow become indispensable across 1,000 worlds, had returned home. They took with them their peculiar ability to treat species they'd never encountered before. Their strange insistence on actually caring whether patients lived or died. The Catherine mortality rates doubled, then tripled. "This is temporary," Chancellor Morvex had insisted during an emergency session. "We survived millennia before humanity arrived." But Zixthor knew better. Humanity hadn't just participated in galactic civilization. They had quietly become its nervous system. Day 12 brought the real catastrophe. The Zephyron mining colonies on the dead worlds, planets too hostile for any species to survive, went silent. Zixthor accessed the reports with growing dread. Humans had been the only species insane enough to work those hellish rocks, wearing their primitive environmental suits, extracting the rare elements that powered everything from faster-than-light drives to medical regenerators. They had called it just another day at the office. Now the mine stood empty, and the galaxy's technology ground toward an inevitable halt. Vreet approached Zixthor privately on day 15, her usual composure shattered. "The defense grid," she whispered. "The Marauders are coming." The Marauders, a nightmare species from the void between galaxies. For 30 cycles they hadn't dared approach Council space, not because of the Council's military might, because of humanity's insane volunteer defense force, who flew their ships directly into Marauder vessels, laughing and screaming their battle cries. Humans called it being heroes. The rest of the galaxy called it clinically insane. But it had worked. "Contact the human homeworld," Zixthor urged Chancellor Morvex. "Negotiate their return." Never. Morvex's pride was an impenetrable wall. By day 18, even that wall began to crack. The agricultural worlds reported complete collapse without human-designed pollination drones. The educational centers mourned the loss of human teachers, who possessed an inexplicable gift for explaining complex concepts in ways anyone could understand. The entertainment industry crashed without human stories, music, and art that somehow resonated across every species. Zixthor realized the horrible truth. Humanity hadn't just participated in galactic civilization. They had held it together with their stubborn refusal to give up, their bizarre optimism, their maddening insistence that every problem had a solution if you just worked hard enough. The galaxy had mistaken their helpfulness for weakness, their cooperation for submission. Day 20 brought the Council to its knees, literally. Chancellor Morvex collapsed during the session, his crystalline structure fracturing under stress. The medical bay couldn't save him. The human doctors who could have were 40 light-years away, probably fishing or whatever humans did for recreation. Zixthor assumed emergency leadership. His first act was to open a communication channel to Earth. Ambassador Chen's face appeared on the view screen, older somehow despite only 3 weeks passing. Behind her, Zixthor glimpsed blue skies, green fields, and humans going about their lives with infuriating contentment. Ambassador Chen, Zixthor began, rehearsed apologies dying in his throat. We made a mistake. Chen smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Did you, Ambassador? Or did you finally see us clearly? The Council needs humanity. We're falling apart without you. You don't need us, Chen corrected gently. You need our labor. Our ships. Our soldiers. Our doctors. You want us to be the galaxy's servants while you claim superiority. She leaned forward. Here's what you actually need. To learn what we tried to teach you. Respect. Equality. The understanding that every species has value, not just the oldest or strongest. Zixthor felt shame, a human emotion he'd learned despite himself. What can we do? Figure it out, Chen said. We did. We survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, and near extinction. We thrived because we learned to cooperate, to value every person's contribution. The galaxy can learn the same lesson. She paused. Or it can collapse. Your choice. The screen went dark. Zixthor turned to face the Council, seeing them truly for the first time, scared, helpless, and finally humbled. They had dismissed humanity as young, impulsive, and weak. They had never asked why a species barely 3 centuries into space travel had become indispensable across 1,000 worlds. Now they knew. Humans didn't just work harder, they worked together. They didn't just solve problems, they solved everyone's problems. They didn't just survive, they made sure others survived too. The galaxy had taken that for granted until it was gone. New proposal, Zixthor announced, his voice carrying across the silent chamber. We restructure the Council. True equality for all members. We learn from our mistakes. He looked at each member in turn. And we pray that humanity is more forgiving than we deserve. In the empty obsidian chair, a message console blinked. Zixthor activated it, finding a single line from Ambassador Chen. We're listening. It was more than they deserved. It was everything they needed. Perhaps Zixthor thought that was the most human thing of all.